11:33, 27 minutes before high noon on Snowmageddon Sunday, December 12th, 2010. And we're joined by the curator of the Mommy Revolution. That's why we play that little revolution song. See, we're kind of thoughtful with the songs that we play. But Carla Barnhill is not only the curator of the Mommy Revolution. Someday, we believe it to be true, she is going to be the advice giver on Good Morning America. Aren't you, Carla?
I'm working on it. Working to make it happen. Putting it out there.
So this will now be the song Carla Barnhill will hear before she... How do you like that, Carla?
Now, Good Morning America presents advice guru Carla Barnhill.
Yay, Carla Barnhill. If you don't know the story, Carla Barnhill is in the running to be the advice guru over there at Good Morning America. Top 20. So whether or not she ever gets the job, she is top 20 to us. She is our number one mommy revolutionary.
You know, I could barely hear that song. Was that Neil Diamond?
It wasn't. It was the Good Morning America theme song.
I think it should be Neil Diamond.
What
coming to America today. See what you think?
Yeah, really. You mean that should be your theme song there, or that should be the Good Morning America?
Maybe both. But I think it for sure should be my my quest for my race to the top theme song.
Oh, I like it. Like you're going to have your own theme song.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think so. I'm going to have my own theme song for this portion of the competition.
I think that makes all the sense in the world.
I would think so. We'll make it happen.
Carla Barnhill, the advice giver.
You guys are killing time this morning, aren't you?
No, we're not. It's Snowmageddon, where everybody's hunkered in. Everybody's got just a little more time.
Yep.
Carla Barnhill.
There we go.
The advice giver.
Yeah, no, it's fun, isn't it? I swear, I love this stuff.
It is fun.
I love it.
It is fun. Well, what's going on over at the Mommy Revolution, or have you sort of looked past that altogether?
Hey, Carla, what's the web address? Do you know what the web address is where you have your article that you did for Good Morning America?
Well, I can find it for you here.
Okay.
It'll take me a second. But,
sure.
But I do have, if people are on Facebook, they can go to Make Carla Barnhill the new GMA advice guru. Look that up. You got a page.
A very fancy page. You can just type in Carla Barnhill. I bet you could type that into like the search, and it would be somewhere right in there, wouldn't it? If they typed in Carla Barnhill right into the Facebook search engine.
That's the second one. Make Carla Barnhill the new GMA advice guru.
Yep.
Anybody can find it.
Like that page, and you can join in the magic. You can even see the little picture there where Carla Barnhill has been inserted, right behind George Stephanopoulos.
That's right.
That looks perfect, by the way.
It looks awesome, doesn't it? My tech people did that.
Yeah, she's got people.
She's got people that.
Yeah. Have they sent you a cease and desist order yet on using your image along with the?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
They might not be aware of it.
Yeah, because if you don't know what the image looks like, it's the official picture of the Facebook page of Good Morning America with George Stephanopoulos and that other woman. I don't know who she is. I've never Robin Roberts.
Yep.
Robin Roberts, the woman who used to be on TV here.
Yep. The awesome. No, Robin Roberts used to be a ESPN sports woman.
Oh, really?
She's awesome.
Yeah, well, and then we have someone through the magic of Photoshop has inserted Carla Barnhill.
Here's what I'll tell people in terms of they can go to Good Morning America, go to the Good Morning America website, and right on the kind of navigation stuff on the side, they've got GMA Guru finalists answer your questions. If they just go there. Sorry, there it is. If they just go to the GMA.com, that'd be the quickest way.
So recently you were asked to answer a question about, should my child take ADD medicine, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
And I gave excellent advice on that.
You sure did.
Let me ask you this, Carla. Would you have answered any differently if the question had been phrased, should the sidekick on my radio program take ADD medication?
Should my pastor take ADD medication?
Hey, one at a time.
Now.
One at a time. Don't conflate these questions.
Yeah.
Would you have answered it any differently?
I mean, I answered the question, as someone. I feel like part of my responsibility in this gig is not to just say, hey, here's what I would do if I were you, but to give them a kind of a full overview of how I see the situation and let them make their decision that's right for them. Because what's right for me might not be right for them. Right?
Boy,
so that's my
postmodern
approach.
of you. Mm-hmm.
I know. That's my approach to this whole affair. However, that said, living with someone who has ADD and seeing the joys that come from medication,
yes,
it was all I could do just not to say, it will change your life. Go get them right now.
Put the child on medication.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it might be different when it's not a child. When it's an adult in the house, it might be a whole different set of situations, stories. But anyway, just the same. So anyway, but what I wanted to talk about today was not ADD, which we could have a whole conversation about sometime. I could just read my advice, which is awfully good. But
and so it begins.
And is the natural health coach proud of me because I gave some, nutritional options for dealing with it, namely fish oil. I threw that out there. And I thought,
so you advocated for synthetic medication and threw out there the idea of
No,
fish
I
oil.
didn't advocate for anything. I said, here are your options.
I know, I'm teasing.
And one of them, if you don't want to take, because the woman sounded like she was a little hesitant about the whole medication thing, which I understand. 9-year-old boy, you don't want to just dive into that without thinking it through.
Right.
So, I said you can try some diet changes, and those can be really helpful, and they might be what you need. It might be the ticket.
And it will give you confidence that 6 months from now that you tried everything before you did medication.
Right.
Yeah.
And you'll want those 6 months back, but that's irrelevant.
Yeah, that's my view of it. But anyway, well, what were you going to talk about?
I was going to talk about how motherhood is like a metrodome.
Oh.
The Metrodome, like as in the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome, now named Mall of America Field?
No, the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome.
The Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome, which for those who may not know, it was the home of the Minnesota Twins and the Minnesota Vikings. What do you mean it collapsed?
The roof collapsed.
What?
You don't know this?
I don't know this.
How are you not on it? The roof collapsed about 5 o'clock this morning.
This is breaking news right here on AM 950. I didn't know that.
There's a gigantic hole in the middle of the roof, and the field is covered in snow.
Oh, my.
And it's quite a mess, and they don't know where, they'd already moved the Vikings game till tomorrow because of the weather. And now it's just postponed indefinitely. I don't understand why they don't go play over at TCF Stadium and play outdoors. Like real football is meant to be played.
Because that's where they wanted to play. Well, maybe that's the plan. I mean, maybe they're having to put this plan together.
There is no plan. They're canceling the game. That's the plan.
You mean like they're not having a game at all?
Well, as far as I know, they are not having a game at all.
Huh. Well, how do you like that? Well, I didn't know this. I've been busy preparing for a radio program this morning, not spending time paying attention to the news.
Well, there you go. The local news.
Yeah,
why would you want to bring that up on Minnesota AM 950?
Yeah, AM 950.
No one cares.
There was so much snow that after all of these years, the roof on the dome, which is a
Teflon.
Teflon.
It's a big inflatable Teflon roof. It's held up by air.
Yeah, by positive pressure.
This is the second time it's happened. Do you remember back in '83, right after they built it, like the second year it was up and running?
Oh, yes, I do remember that.
Remember that?
But snow didn't get in. It just depressed back then, right? Didn't it just snow?
Well, I think it had a tear in it last time too, because that's what all it takes is for there to be a little tear, and all of a sudden the pressure isn't there anymore, and so then the snow wins.
So
it's like a whole new kind of terrorism.
Oh my. So how is parenting like the Metrodome, Carla?
Well, parenting's like the Metrodome that, a little too much pressure.
It's a little full of hot air.
And the whole thing falls down.
And the slightest tear, and you feel like the whole thing's going to fall down.
Well, the slightest tear, and sometimes the whole thing does fall down. And, frankly, a snow day can be that tear.
Well, yeah,
there is no snow day when you're a mother or a father, right? The kids are like, woo-hoo! And the parents are like, nah, what are we going to do all day?
Well, I was with somebody who said yesterday, it's kind of a bummer that all these snow days have been happening on the weekends, these big snow blizzards, and kids aren't even getting off school. Right. And I thought that's the one gift of the weather gods is that it's happening on those days and not on the day in which you'd have loss of productivity and kids out of school.
Yeah.
And then you have to figure out what you're going to do. Right.
Oh, what would you do with all those kids on the snow days? Because we haven't had snow days in Minnesota in a long time.
Minneapolis and St. Paul, especially, the outstate schools, they end up delayed or canceled all the time. But down here in the city, no.
Yep.
We're out and running. So, yeah. it's been a disappointment for my husband, who, as you know, is a public school teacher, that there aren't more snow days. He was sort of thinking that was one of the bargains of living up here, and
yeah, that was part of the deal.
To find that,
not only a week off at Thanksgiving, a couple weeks off at Christmas, a couple weeks off during the spring, and 3 months off in the summer.
Well, he was just kind of hoping to revisit the joy of the snow day, and
That's
he's
right.
like, wow.
That's right. Well, that's an interesting idea that somehow the Metrodome is this big metaphor.
Well, that parenting can be kind of a delicate balance. This delicate, that you got a push coming from one direction and a push coming from the other direction, and you hope that they sort of cancel each other out to keep the whole operation suspended. Mm-hmm. And some days it just collapses. Some days the weight that's on you as a parent is just more than you can tolerate for the day, and you end up just the whole thing breaks down. So for me, yesterday was a day like that. I just was crabby all day long, and I couldn't quite figure out why, and I realized it's because there's just too much pressure right now. I'm trying to get, holiday stuff done. I got 8 different projects I need to be working on that I haven't gotten to, and then here we are all stuck in the house. We actually had extra kids here who had been here for a sleepover and couldn't get home. So they weren't here all day, and they were lovely kids. It wasn't, they weren't the issue. But it was
just in case their parents are listening. Mm-hmm.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, and just in case they're listening. They really are lovely kids. But it's just one more thing to sort of add to just one more layer of snow on the roof. And so
like it's like that's the what's the expression? That's the
straw that broke the camel's back. Right.
That broke the camel's back. I've never really understood. I mean, I guess you have to sort of imagine that a camel is carrying a load of straw.
Yeah.
But that one more little piece, it's not a big deal in and of itself. It's just too much.
Yep. All of a sudden it's too much. And you don't necessarily know when that's coming until it hits you. Like, oh, nope, that was it.
That was it. That
was my breaking point right there. Yeah.
Isn't that true that the line of whatever the line is always just behind us when you realize that there's a line? Yeah. Because you don't know it until you crossed it.
Right. So I think, so how do what's the solution for this? Motherhood is like a Metrodome thing. What do you do? And I think that is part of it, is to start to recognize what is my line. When and start to figure out, how do I see it coming, which isn't necessarily easy. It takes a little bit of self-reflection, which we aren't all very good at. But you kind of got to stop and go, okay, do I push through my breaking point and hope that it doesn't show up, or do I say I need to go sit down and read my book for a little while? I'll be back in 10 minutes or half an hour or whatever, and just let everybody figure out what to do without you for a few minutes. And I think it's that. I think you have to be able to give yourself permission to say, I'm kind of useless to myself and others if I fall apart. So
and maybe there's even a sense that people could say, look, maybe it's not the end of the world if the thing tears, right? Like,
maybe
fix it, and
we'll fix it. Yep.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody not about parenting, but about his business, and he was like, had a very hard time, and lots of personal things had gone on. And I said, boy, I hope you have a chance to sort of get away for a little vacation. He said, yeah, we have one planned in February, but I think I'm going to have to cancel it because I just don't know what would happen if I wasn't around right now.
Yeah.
Like, well, maybe sometimes you just got to find out what would happen if you're not around right now.
Yeah, right, exactly. What happens? If I say no to everybody, what's the worst thing that'll happen?
Yeah.
They might cry and throw a little fit.
And then that's that.
It'll be okay.
Well, that's Carla Barnhill. Right now, she's the curator of the Mommy Revolution, soon to be Good Morning America advice giver.
Now I got to go shovel.
The fingers crossed, and right now she has to go pay the price for living
in paradise.
In paradise. Hey, we're going back with the Cripes. Come on, you got to be kidding me. And snow only has to do with one of those. On AM 950, the voice of Minnesota and Doug Pagitt Radio.